Hey everyone, it's Siobhan here, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you why I actually think you should be getting off of the treadmill. So, tell me if these scenarios sound a little bit familiar. So maybe you find yourself that you're working really hard, like maybe you're working really hard on a goal that you have, and even though you're putting in so much effort, you're giving it your all, you notice that you really aren't making any progress. Or, my personal favorite, is that you are really busy. You have a really long list of things to do, you're running around doing so much, and even when you scratch something off, somehow your list doesn't get smaller, it actually is getting bigger and bigger. So if any of those scenarios sound a little too close to home, you might be experiencing a little bit of that icky feeling of being stuck on the treadmill. So what exactly do I mean by being stuck on the treadmill? Well, let's walk through an example. So when you get on a treadmill, what do you have to do? You have to start it, and once it starts moving, you actually have to start moving as well, or you'll fall off. And as you're moving, you might realize or get a little bit more comfortable and decide that you want to go a bit faster. So you increase your speed. And as you increase your speed, you also have to start moving a little bit faster. So now let's say that you've gotten used to walking at a certain pace, but you might turn to your left and notice that there's someone beside you that's going a lot faster than you are. So you turn down and look at your treadmill and realize, hey, maybe I should go a bit faster. So what ends up happening is you increase your speed as well. And as you increase your speed, you then have to start going a lot faster, and maybe a little bit faster than you're used to. And before you know it, you're actually running on the treadmill. So once that happens, you have two choices. You either have to keep running, obviously, or you're going to fall off, or you're going to have to stop. So in both scenarios, no progress was made. All you've done was spent your time running to nowhere. So what do you do when you're faced with being stuck on the treadmill? Well, there's a lot of various reasons why we end up on the treadmill in the first place. Here are three of the reasons why I think you might be stuck in that icky place. The quest to look or be perfect. So once you're on the treadmill and you've started running, or especially if you start comparing yourself to somebody else, you kind of want to keep up appearances. So even if you don't feel ready to go a bit faster or to even keep up with the pace you have now, you keep doing it because you want to kind of show to the world that, hey, you have it all together, even if you don't. Now, number two, the fear of failure. Now, once you're on the treadmill and you are basically trying to keep up appearances, while you're doing that, you're probably really stressed out and you don't want to fail. Who does, right? So you keep going and going, not only because you want to make sure it looks okay, but you are scared of disappointing other people or even disappointing yourself. And number three, now listen up, this is really key, scarcity. Now, if you've ever read the book Daring Greatly by Dr. Brené Brown, you're probably already aware with this concept. But basically the term scarcity refers to never having enough or feeling enough. So if you're stuck on a treadmill, you're probably feeling that you're not doing enough, or you're not enough, or you're missing out on something. So the problem with being stuck on the treadmill is that it gives you a false sense of security that you're actually making progress because you're so busy running that you don't have time to address the fact that you're feeling horrible in the first place.
So you're probably thinking, so now what? You realize that, hey, maybe I'm feeling a little stuck and I am on a treadmill, but how exactly do I get off? Well, here are 3 tips for getting unstuck and getting off of the treadmill for good.
1. Break free of the comparison trap. Now, are you stuck on the treadmill because you have compared your life to somebody else and feel that you need to do everything that they're doing? Well, remember, it's impossible to replicate somebody else's journey. you'll never really know what happens behind the scenes. When it comes to your life, focus on running your own race. Number 2, when it comes to getting off of the treadmill, remember, being productive trumps being busy. Now, if you're stuck on the treadmill because you have a mountain of tasks, and if you realize if you stop that everything's going to feel like it's crashing down, well, that's a key indication that you are definitely overwhelmed and you're spending your time in busy mode, but nothing's ever really getting done. So when it comes to being on the treadmill, of course you feel that you're always running and being exhausted because you have no way of getting off because there's all these tasks. So if you find yourself in that situation, take a hard look at what your schedule looks like and realize that maybe it might be time for you to say no more than yes, and to possibly start delegating or maybe even doing a clear audit of your time. Maybe you're spending your energy and your focus in areas that you really shouldn't be. So number 3, forge your own path. When it comes to exercise, I have a little confession. I actually don't really even like the treadmill as a piece of cardio equipment. And the reason why is, think about it, you're kind of stuck on it and you're not really going anywhere. And when it comes to real life, think about it. There's twists, there's turns, you have the power to go forwards. Sometimes you might even go a little bit backwards. But the point is that you have the ability to forge what that path looks like. Now, it's kind of like that quote from Einstein, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Now, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it's not helping you, and it's actually making you feel worse, then it's time, my friends, for you to get off of the treadmill. Now, if you like this video, hit the like button or share it with a friend. Or you can head over to my website at siobhanjohn.com and subscribe to get more wellness tips to help empower you.